Hey guys, back at it again in our Tool album review series, and we're already at the halfway point. We went from 92's Opiate, 93's Undertow, and now we're in 1996, their last album in the 90s, Aenima. And this is where they start getting kind of cool with their album covers, like it'll have like little tricks and stuff like that to them. And this one will be kind of hard to pick up on camera, but it's one of those things where if you like move it up and down, the eyes start appearing and the light in the middle kind of distorts and stuff. Really cool. And they get even cooler as you go through the years with Tool's album covers, this one going up. So we'll get to start kind of showing off some of those, which will be pretty cool. But yeah, we also, this is one of those albums that doesn't have the track listing on the back. That always kind of bugs me a little bit. And also, you know, it doesn't have, it's not like a record that I've had in the past where I pull out the record and just read it off from there. So I just kind of wrote it down here. But you know, because I do like the show, I could just pull out the artwork, you know, the CD booklet or whatever, but I do kind of like to show the album cover, you know, little visual reference here as we go along. But anyways, I'll start this one off by saying it really is the perfect blend between their kind of Undertow, Opiate era, their heavier, more raw stuff, and then the stuff that would follow, the more proggier stuff like Lateralis and Up. This really is, this is the middle album for them. You know, it's the third out of 6, and, you know, it's like, I mean, it's that halfway point, and it, you know, you can really hear it. And, you know, it becomes, you become aware of that really quick if you haven't heard these out, or if you're, you know, for me in particular, I'm going back through after I've heard all these albums several times, but, you know, after hearing, after going through these in order, you get to see where, like on Stinkfist, it sounds a lot. That's the first track, Stinkfist, in a incredible opener. And it really does kind of seem like, oh, this is going to be one of those, you know, kind of like Intolerance, these just really heavy openers that are just short and sweet. But that's where they get you, because it just keeps on going. And you hear these incredible palm mutes from Adam Jones, who's like a master at those. I mean, man, you hear them littered all throughout, really, Tool's discography in general. And, I mean, Adam Jones is just such a great guitar player. Very unique style of playing. And, but yeah, just really, really cool opener. One of my favorites off here, right off the bat. Freaking love Stinkfist. I've always loved it. And then we hop into track number 2, another one of my absolute favorites, one of my favorite Tool songs ever, Eulogy. Of course, that track is about, it's like a tribute track to the late, great comedian Bill Hicks, who died, I think, 1996, 95, somewhere in the process of them recording this album. And, you know, and if you haven't seen any of his stuff, it's absolutely hilarious. One of my favorite stand-up comedians. But such a powerful song vocally from Maynard. There's these little effects kind of going on at the beginning and like some just kind of banging around on cymbals like very lightly and stuff, which is really cool. And then you get to the, you know, the vocal effect, distorted effect on Maynard's voice, which is, you see that all throughout this album, a little bit on even the first track, which is really cool. Kind of adds a unique feel to this album. But yeah, then you get to that chorus on here, and man, that's one of the best or one of the most powerful vocal performances Maynard has ever done in his career, in my opinion, is through the chorus of this song. So, you know, if you haven't heard that one, you definitely got to hear it. Just, I mean, and you can tell it's the passion behind Maynard, you know, it's considering that's a tribute song. So he really wanted to go out on this one. But yeah, Eulogy is one of my favorites off here. Then you get H, simple title. Not a simple song because it's pretty complex and it's time signatures, some offbeat stuff. Really, really cool song. Another one of my favorites. These guys are just hitting and landing all these, you know, hitting all these targets right in the middle with these tracks here over and over again. The first 3 are just incredible. And some of the best off this album overall. Then we've got the first little interlude here, Useful Idiot, which, you know, some of these you kind of see, you know, pop up the band's humor and stuff again, as you kind of see in the previous reviews. And this one is kind of like, if you have a record player or ever had one that, you know, doesn't, the arm is automatically reset, and it just kind of keeps spinning, and you just kind of hear that pop, and then it keeps spinning. That's all Useful Idiot is. It's kind of funny how that just kind of happens. But they, unlike, you know, on Undertow, they had that crazy epilogue, just a bunch of sounds and stuff. This is just some interludes kind of littered throughout this album, and that's fine with me. They're cool. And Useful Idiot, after that quick little interlude, you go to the first Tool song I've ever heard, which was 46 and 2, which of course is referring to the amount of chromosomes in the human body. And, with 23 of those being male, 23 being female, so that's where the 2 comes from, the male and female, and then the 46 of them added together. But man, one of the coolest sounding freaking songs on here. I'll never forget hearing that the first time. My dad was playing it in the car, driving to school, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And I love how many different, kind of parts I didn't really understand, like prog stuff back then, but so it definitely wowed me. I was like, whoa, in amazement. And that still to this day is one of my favorite Tool songs. I got a big soft spot for it. And and it's one of the more popular ones off this record. But just an absolutely incredible song. I love the riff, the bass going on in here from Justin Chancellor is just top notch on this track in particular. Then we've got another really funny little interlude here, Message to Harry Manback. And this one is kind of it's pretty funny. It's like this, Maynard's talking in some kind of like Russian accent or German accent and talk about he's going to whoop this dude's ass. And it's just some funny stuff going on. So these interludes they're gold. I love them on this album. Which then that leads into a funny title track that is actually a really good one though. Hooker with a Penis. And that, as funny as that sounds and as funny as the lyrics are, again, kind of showing off their comedy and stuff, their dark comedy. It's just a great, heavy song. Not really one of the lengthier ones off here, but you don't, which is fine. This one, I could definitely hear Hooker with a Penis being off of Undertow or Opiate. That would fit right on in there. It's really got those kind of funny lyrics and just an awesome riff going on, and I just love the heaviness of that track. Awesome song. Then we get to Intermission, which is just kind of like sounds like some weird little video game sounds or something going on. And then you hop into Jimmy, which is a pretty decent length, 5 minutes or so. Proggy track, really cool. Not one of my favorites off here. I would say that ranks, kind of near the bottom of my favorites. Not counting the, interludes and stuff, but as far as like the actual songs go. But yeah, Jimmy's a good song. Then we go to another one that's kind of talking in that European accent type thing again with the Intermission, Die Eier von Satan, which, and I probably butchered that, but it's another one where Maynard's just talking in that weird accent and all that. But after that, you lead into another incredible track off here, Push It, all one word. And man, that's another just heavy one. See, they just really sprinkle these heavy ones in with those really long kind of proggy ones that are also still heavy in their own right to just make this just incredible piece right here. And Push It's one of them heavier ones that, they added on as a garnish. So absolutely love that song. That one's been ranks up pretty high as far as my favorite songs go on here. Then we go to Cesar Summability. Okay. So that one, I kind of scribbled these down, but yeah, that right there, that's one of those interludes again that's kind of like, sounds really machine-like and all that going on. Just another weird one that leads into, if Eulogy or Stinkfists aren't my favorites off this album, then this one might very well be and take that top spot as my favorite. The title track, Aenima. Holy hell, it is heavy as all get out, lots of, dropping just crazy just truths about Los Angeles, being the hellhole that it was back then and kind of still is today with all the drugs and just how insane it is over there and how things work over there. And then just super heavy chorus going in, Maynard dropping lots of fucks throughout the whole song, which is pretty funny. But as this thing keeps building and building, you get to this beautiful breakdown that just never fails to give me the most chilling goosebumps. It's like, it's just pretty, which seems, that's what kind of shocks you if you've never heard that song before. You hear like all this heaviness and all this cursing and stuff, and then just bam, you get this pretty melody from Maynard and just this dark kind of tone going on. Absolutely love that song. One of my absolute favorite Tool songs of all time. Then we get to the second last track, which is, another little interlude here, Negative Ions. Just kind of the same as these other interludes. I do like the earlier on interludes better. They're kind of funnier, but then you close it off with Third Eye, which is really long. I think it might be the longest track on here, like 13 minutes. And that one's really cool. It's really weird, which, you kind of get used to from these guys. They're a weird band in a good way. And it's got some really cool moments in it. Really, really, probably the proggiest track on here as far as all these odd time signatures and changes go. So, the really cool way to close it. They once again end it with their longest track. Except, last time it was not a good thing because it was a bunch of noises and stuff on Undertow. But this time it's actually a damn good track. That's not one of my favorites, but still is really good. But, yeah, guys, that's Aenima there. Incredible, incredible album. This is like a must-have 90s album, an essential. This is a great starting spot for people who maybe haven't heard of Tool or are new to them. Kind of gives you the best of both worlds with their progginess and heaviness. So, just incredible album. And next time we'll be hopping in to their 2001 album, Lateralis, where we'll see them take much more proggy tone and dive a little bit further into that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this. This is one of the more popular albums, so I'm sure, we could get some discussion going about it down there in the comments. But, yeah, stay tuned till next time, guys. Thanks.